Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. This Premier and this government agreed to a royalty deal that sees an expected $18 billion transferred from the public to Syncrude. And the corporate filings of Syncrude shareholders spell this out in detail, and I'm sure the minister is aware of that. This government, which is supposed to be managing the resource in the best interest of Albertans, barely gave a hint of it. To the Premier, why does this government conceal information from its citizens instead of providing the full, plain and true disclosure required of corporations and recommended by the Auditor General?
Honourable the Premier.
Mr. Speaker, nothing is concealed, and especially the growth that we've seen in this province since 1997 that has given us infrastructure, it's given us good health and education programs, it's given us wealth not only in this province, but wealth that's shared right across the country of Canada.
Speaker, the $18 billion figure actually applies only to Syncrude. This government must know how much more forecast revenue they also signed over to Suncor. So my question is to the Minister of Energy. Did the minister or his department do an analysis of how much these royalty deals were likely to cost Albertans? And if he did, will he confirm that about $18 billion more in public wealth was transferred to Suncor through this deal?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what I do know is that we have just spent a considerable amount of time and effort to renegotiate the Crown agreements that Syncrude and Suncor have with the province of Alberta, with the people of Alberta, Mr. Speaker. And I'll tell you this is a fact, not a number that came from a newspaper, Mr. Speaker, a fact. Syncrude will pay the people of Alberta an additional $975 million in royalties due to that agreement.
The Honourable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The minister maybe should go back to math school or something, because he transferred $18 billion to Syncrude to get $975 million back. Does the minister actually think that was a good deal for the people of Alberta?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what I do know is that both of the Crown agreements that have been reached by the Government of Alberta with respect to the two major initial players in the oil sands that have opened up tremendous opportunities for all Albertans and all Canadians, as the Premier has stated. Mr. Speaker, they are very good, solid agreements that will net benefits to Albertans for generations to come, decades to come, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Third Party in the House.